right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, defending downtown, how moves in Missouri's capital could give the Lou a security surge.
Whomever comes to help, I'm definitely going to support.
Chilly beginning, nice ending. The changes coming this weekend that really mixes up what you're wearing and when. Why frost is a concern for some early Saturday.
Our top story, a St. Peter's business closes its doors and opens up accusations of fraud.
It was just shy of $152,000. That's a lot of money, period.
Police now putting out a warning to customers. So much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson. Affordable Kitchens and Baths in St. Peter's is now shuttered, leaving dozens of people out thousands of dollars for remodeling work that never happened. Police tell Andy Crawl more victims could be out there.
In February, the first victim told the St. Peter's Police Department he lost about $30,000 to Affordable Kitchens and Baths, paying for work that was never done, even after repeated phone calls and leaving a note on the door at South St. Peter's Parkway.
Another customer who was experiencing the same issue saw that note, contacted the first victim. Those two got together and started sharing information with each other.
That led to 9 more victims coming forward within 6 weeks, 10 becoming felony stealing charges for business owner Brittany Collier and his employee Lonnie Walker. Further investigation by police found that this building in St. Peter's is no longer operational, no one's answering the door, and is potentially listed for sale.
People have tried to make contact with the employees there. There's been another employee there that is not charged and we don't believe is part of this, who said that, you know, she can't get a hold of the owner either, that it's basically just been shut down.
A total fraud price tag close to $152,000, Sergeant Melissa Doss said.
That's a lot of money, period, yeah.
Which is why the Better Business Bureau recommends you get at least 3 quotes before signing the dotted line.
Look at the business profiles. You can look at their letter grade. You can see the customer reviews, and you can also see the complaints, which are very important, because the power is, how is that company responding, right? Nobody's perfect, but if they do mess up, if something goes awry, are they being responsive? And if they're not, you may want to look to another business to do that work for you.
Andy Crawl, 5 on Your Side.
Police say both suspects have been charged but are not in custody. Anyone who believes they may be a victim is urged to contact St. Peter's police detectives. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us with the weather impact forecast. And while we are gearing up for a weekend warm-up, some parts of our area may get a cold wake-up call, Scott.
And a lot of that has to do with where the clouds are tonight. Some of us are already down around 40 degrees once you get away from town, and if your sky is cleared out. We think most of us will clear out by daybreak, which pulls us down into the 30s. So it is a very chilly start to our Saturday morning. Coldest temperatures are likely to be east of St. Louis, Mount Vernon up to Flora, about 33 degrees there. The rest of us a little higher, but the winds will be more settled east of St. Louis. And the better chance for frost does lie over our eastern counties. This is where the frost advisory is in effect. It does include Madison, St. Clair, Monroe County. So the entire metro east, and then going east from there. Eventually, once you get over to Flora, that's where we start to pick up a freeze warning. You'll be right around freezing there. It's still too early to really have anything that would be susceptible to frost or freeze planted, but if you do have something tender outside that you put out a little earlier, you might want to drag it in or certainly cover it up. And if you have a strawberry patch with the blooms on it, definitely want to cover that up. Listen, as we head into tomorrow, look at this. The sun's back. The temperatures start rising. We're not done with a warming trend, at least not for this weekend. We'll see in a few minutes talk about even nicer weather for Sunday.
Tonight, a former Town and Country police sergeant sits in jail accused of child molestation. 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend's in the newsroom with the disturbing allegations. Robert.
Kelly, indeed. Former Town and Country Police Sergeant Jeffrey Wolf faces a long list of charges, including child molestation, statutory sodomy, and sexual abuse. He's accused of molesting a young boy.
Stunning allegations against former Town and Country Police Sergeant Jeffrey Wolf are now coming to light. According to a probable cause statement, a boy told investigators Wolf molested him at a Jefferson County home. During an interview, the boy told police the alleged sexual abuse occurred around October 2023 until July 2024. The child stated, quote, Wolf would allow him extra time to play videos or give him dessert in exchange for sexual acts. The victim also said Wolf would place a time limit on the inappropriate touching, and it would last 5 or 10 minutes. It's unclear how long Jeffrey Wolf had been with the Town and Country Police Department.
Now, court papers also reveal Wolf previously told the victim that he would hurt him if he disclosed the abuse. Jeffrey Wolf returns to court on April 29th.
St. Louis police now confirmed a day-long dig in South City was in connection to the disappearance of Breon Miller. She was last seen on July 26, 2020, near South Grand and Delore after an argument with her boyfriend. Police and FBI agents searched a home at Dewey and Delore yesterday and didn't find any human remains. Investigators have no plans to return to the house, and no one is in custody in connection to the disappearance. Today, the Missouri woman at the center of the popular HBO documentary Chimp Crazy was back in federal court. Last week, Tanya Haddix pleaded guilty to perjury and obstruction of justice. Today, she was in court over a possible bond violation after federal officials got a tip she had a rifle on her property. Her attorney says it's only a tranquilizer gun used at her animal safari business.
The judge appropriately recognized that it would be okay for the business to have a tranquilizing device on site, and Ms. Haddix appropriately, understandably, wanted to make sure that any member of the public that visits continues to be safe, as they always have been at her business.
Haddix agreed to lock up the firearm. Tonight, a state proposal to boost security in downtown St. Louis. Plans in both the Senate and House include pumping millions of dollars into an effort to create a security entertainment district. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is live to explain. It would involve recruiting big events into the heart of the city, Brent.
Yeah, concerts, more sporting events, you name it. The plan includes marketing downtown as a destination and bringing in more police and security to actually walk the streets.
Over at Wussy on Washington, staff get a boost whenever there's extra foot traffic. But owner David Shanks wants that to be a consistent thing.
We want to see people. We want to see a community that once thrive.
That's what House Bill 1524 seeks to do. State Representative David Castile sponsoring it. A plan for the state to invest some $2.5 million into an entertainment security district, with efforts to market downtown as a place for employers to move to and where big events can thrive. The plan would not create new taxes, and businesses can voluntarily contribute to extra security and police patrols.
100%. Yeah. I think the more police presence just makes people comfortable and it deters violence.
A representative with the Downtown Neighborhood Association says a visible security presence is important, but points to several groups already providing extra security, including the Community Improvement District and Greater STL Inc. My only concern is the number of agencies patrolling and if they are coordinating with each other. I'd rather a singular coordinated approach rather than too many hands in the pot. A spokesperson for Citizens for Greater Downtown St. Louis shared that concern, saying, quote, "I would hope that the new mayor would make it a priority to bring all these organizations together to develop a plan for downtown and encourage everyone to work together toward common goals." Time is ticking. State lawmakers wrap up their session next month.
Whomever comes to help, I'm definitely going to support. I can't be the only person down here. We're not going to win if we continue to lose businesses and things.
Now, part of the plan will be to enforce curfew rules so that teens aren't out roaming late at night. The Ethical Society of Police says it supports this idea because it gives officers a chance to supplement their income. The proposal passed out of the House this week. We'll be watching as it makes its way through the Senate. Kelly.
One company is already showing off some new security tech downtown. Rad Security brought out its AI-powered patrol devices, Romeo and Red Dog. Romeo can read license plates, detect weapons, and help people find their car, while Red Dog is able to enter dangerous scenes that could harm first responders.
I'm excited for St. Louis to bring more of these solutions throughout more of the city and really help people feel even more comfortable returning to downtown and uplifting the city to the greatness that it rightfully should have.
If you missed the two bots today, they'll be back out tomorrow patrolling the Frozen 4 fan experience at Union Station. New tonight, SIU Edwardsville is proposing cutting 6 majors to reduce cost. School officials propose cutting art history, bioprocess chemistry, medical science, music theory, French, and German. This comes 1 month after the school announced faculty layoffs due to a budget deficit. It's not clear when the school will discuss approving the cuts. SIUE is also telling us multiple international students there had their visas revoked. The Trump administration has revoked more than 500 student visas in dozens of colleges across the country. Also part of that list is Webster University and the University of Missouri. SIUE and MU didn't disclose how many students were impacted. Webster tells us more than 20 students were affected. All 3 schools say they're working with the students to support them. Governor Mike Kehoe has ordered American flags flown at half-staff tomorrow in honor of Chevy Gall. Flags will be lowered at government buildings in Franklin County, firehouses across the state, and the Firefighters Memorial of Missouri. Gall was a volunteer firefighter with the Beaufort-Leslie Fire Protection District. He was killed in a car crash a week ago today while responding to a water rescue call. Chevy Gall was 16 years old. Visitation is tomorrow morning at 10 at the Life Stream Church in Washington, Missouri. His funeral begins at 1 o'clock, and his family is asking for donations to the Beaufort-Leslie Fire Department. Scam season with tax day coming up. The cons are ramping up.
And if you take that bad advice, you definitely could be in a lot of trouble.
We're looking into this year's top tricks to help keep you safe.
This is the time of year for big changes in our weather. At least this weekend doesn't involve storms. The weather impacts as we look into the middle of April.
Tonight we have new information. A deadly helicopter crashed in New York City. 6 people, including 3 children, died after the chopper crashed into the Hudson River yesterday. The FAA's investigation showed the helicopter had passed safety inspections, but investigators found the operating company was involved in 2 safety incidents in the past. Witnesses have quickly taken to social media, posting what they saw and what they heard. Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board say they need all the help they can get from the public.
If something struck you as different, or maybe you paused, or it crossed your mind that maybe it's something you would like to share with our investigators, there's no downside.
Crews are still going into the water to find evidence on what caused the crash. And the NTSB is also investigating a deadly small plane crash in Boca Raton, Florida. 3 people died after the plane crashed down on a busy city street. One driver was injured after debris caused him to hit a tree. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. It is still unclear what caused the crash. We're less than a week away from tax day next Tuesday, and if you're in a hurry to get your taxes together, you'll want to make sure you're not falling for some of the most popular tax season scams. Stephanie Haney shows us everything you need to watch out for.
Every year, the IRS releases its Dirty Dozen report, highlighting the worst of the worst tax scams. Taxpayers might be targeted with these scams anytime, but they seem to peak during filing season. With the tax filing deadline coming up, here are a few Verify Fast facts from the IRS and the National Cybersecurity Alliance, a nonprofit organization which promotes cybersecurity awareness and education. First, you don't need a professional to create an IRS account for you. The IRS is warning taxpayers that third parties making these offers will try to steal a taxpayer's personal information and try to submit fraudulent tax returns in the victim's name to get a big refund. Second, social media posts are full of inaccurate tax advice. Cliff Steinauer, Director of Information Security and Engagement at the National Cybersecurity Alliance, explains why we might see this.
A lot of times we'll see, bad actors on social kind of spreading rumors and things to just kind of get attention to their page or their posts. And if you take that bad advice, you definitely could be in a lot of trouble. The other one could possibly be where attackers are manipulating individuals to file fraudulent or false claims on their tax return and then go and try to intercept the tax return.
And third, a trustworthy tax professional will sign your tax return after it's complete. The IRS warns taxpayers to avoid so-called ghost tax preparers. This is when someone will prepare a tax return but refuse to sign or include their IRS preparer tax identification number as required by law, and that's a major red flag. As the taxpayer, the IRS says you should never sign a blank or incomplete return. With your Verify Fast Facts, I'm Stephanie Haney.
What would you like for us to verify? Send us an email to verify@ksdk.com. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast, and it's a forecast for once that I think everyone's going to like this weekend.
I think overall for the weekend, we're all going to end up fairly happy. Tomorrow morning, though, it's extra layers out the door because it's going to be cold. There will be some frost, especially east of the Mississippi River. And if you have any tender plants out there, things that haven't naturally bloomed, maybe you already took some of your tropicals and put them out on the patio. It's a little soon for that. So temperatures will be dropping back into the 30s. Winds will be lightest east of St. Louis. And while there'll probably be a few patches of frost on the Missouri side, most of it will be to our east. I mean, shucks, it's already down to 43, and Wildwood, Pacific's 42, Edwardsville and Alton at 45. We widen the view, and you can see where the coolest numbers are. They're over here in the Ohio Valley. That's why to the east of St. Louis, you have that freeze warning going into eastern portions of Illinois, across much of central and southern Indiana into Ohio, and that frost advisory just to the east of St. Louis. Now, we still have some clouds around the metro. They're taking their sweet time breaking up, but eventually we will be clearing out overnight. We had a trace of rain this morning. 56 was our high today. We're still at 51, but the air is dry. With the winds becoming calm, we do expect to see temperatures dropping off during the overnight hours. You still have those clouds out there at this point. They'll break up through the overnight hours, and then heading into tomorrow morning, you're going to find temperatures, well, we're going to get that in there again. You're going to find temperatures that jump pretty quickly. In western Missouri, 77 degrees for the high in Kansas City, 74 in Springfield. We have to wait tomorrow. We'll have such a cool start. We'll only be back into the mid-60s tomorrow afternoon, but then as we head into tomorrow night, we don't get as cool. So it's a beautiful day tomorrow, winds out of the south. Guess what's on the way? We've already had a few sightings of the hummingbirds around St. Louis. John has his hummingbird feeder out. Odds are with the winds out of the south tomorrow and especially into Sunday, when they become gusty, we will start to see those hummingbirds moving through the area on their migration. We're in the 80s for highs on Sunday. The breeze does pick up Sunday afternoon. It gets gusty, so some 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts, but a dry weekend, a relatively bright weekend. It's just that cool start tomorrow morning. After all that rain we've had, your grass is perhaps going wild. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, we have good weather on the way, so you can get some yard work done outside this weekend. Passover also begins as we head into tomorrow evening, and then next weekend will be Easter. 65 for the high tomorrow, 82 as we push into Sunday afternoon with that warm breeze. And then we're a little cooler Monday and Tuesday, back into the 60s for highs. This is the time of year when we do make a lot of these wild swings temperature-wise, and that's surely going to be the case over the next couple of days.
I can only imagine. I love a good hummingbird, too.
Oh, yeah, they'll be out tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Scott. Here's Corey with sports.
Well, we had a catcher playing second base tonight at Busch Stadium and an impressive performance on the mound. Talk about an interesting night at the ballpark coming up in sports. The Cardinals have one of the best offenses in baseball so far this season. Only 2 teams have scored more runs than them. The Cardinals also had the second highest team ERA coming into this contest against the high-powered Phillies. That ERA is significantly lower after tonight. Look who's on the mound for the first pitch of this one. Former Mizzou QB Brady Cook, perfect spiral. Weird start to this game. Mason Wynn had to come out of the game due to back spasms, with Brendan Donovan at DH, Thomas Ajayci shifting to short. The Cardinals had to move Pedro Pajes from catcher to second base. And of course, the ball found him. Pajes makes his first play. Everybody loves it. On the mound, Andre Palante was outstanding. K's Max Kepler to end the 4th, and then K's Bryson Stott to end the 5th. 7 shutout innings for Andre. Cards got on the board thanks to the man who replaced Pajes behind home plate. Yoel Pozo to the rescue. That double scored Thomas to JC 1-0 Cards. Pozo had 3 hits tonight. Cardinals got another run on a bases-loaded walk off Philly ace Aaron Nola, and that is all they needed. Phil Maton and Ryan Helsley slammed the door as the Cardinals shut out the high-powered Phillies 2-0. Here's what Pozo had to say about his big night.
I just go to the play and, I try to compete. Nothing on my mind, just compete and then trying, whatever the situation is, trying to do it.
It wasn't that long ago Blues fans were thinking the best case scenario for this season was a decent draft pick and maybe acquiring some young assets at the trade deadline. Not anymore. This team has a playoff berth on its mind going into tomorrow night's game in Seattle with an eye still on that first wild card spot. One of the things that is so exciting about this moment in Blues hockey is what it means for the future. The majority of the roster is now under 30 years old. Players like Thomas and Kyrou reaching the next level. Players like Neighbors, Bolduc, and Holloway breaking out in big ways. And really young guys like Snuggerud and Dvorsky reaching the pros. It's hard not to be excited. I asked owner Tom Stillman for his thoughts on the trajectory of his franchise.
Especially for the future. I mean, there's some times when we have a good team. Right now, we have a good team, and we have, a set of prospects that's way beyond what we've had in my time, certainly. And now we're starting to get some into the lineup, and we'll see more guys getting folded in over the next few years. So it's when you've got a stable like that, it's pretty exciting, and it's so different from what it was, the prospects even just a few years ago.
Round 2 of the Masters at Augusta. Big day for some big names. Defending champ Scotty Scheffler had an up-and-down round. Chipped that one in for a birdie on 12. He shot a 71, sits at 5 under. Rory McIlroy had to have a good day after yesterday's abysmal finish. He did just that. A bogey-free 66 for Rory today. He's tied for 3rd at 6 under. Bryson DeChambeau has hit around 900 shots at the practice facility so far this week. Looks like it's paying off. Converts out of the sand on this shot. He sits in 2nd, heading into the weekend at 7 under. The leader for the 2nd day in a row is Justin Rose. He heads into Saturday at 8 under to pace the field, looking for his first green jacket. Here's Rory and Bryson on their big second rounds to vault near the top of the leaderboard.
But yeah, I feel like I just did a good job of resetting. I don't think I proved anything. If anything, I just backed up the belief that I have in myself and the belief that I'm as resilient as anyone else out here.
I'm just going to give it my absolute best, and whatever happens, happens, and I'm okay with whatever does happen, because ultimately it's not everything, but it would be amazing to win.
Exciting weekend for sports in St. Louis. Tomorrow you've got the Frozen Four National Championship, Cardinals Saturday and Sunday, Battlehawks Sunday at the Dome, City SC Sunday at Energizer Park. And if none of that interests you, plop down on the couch and watch the Masters for 2 days. Yeah.
But it is so rare to have everyone in town.
Yeah.
And to have sports all weekend long.
Going to be a fun
sports
fun
lover's
weekend.
Dream.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Corey. Well, a comic for the community. Comedian Mike Epps makes the stop in Ferguson. His message to teens, that's no joke. And here's a look at what's streaming on 5+ after the show. It's an episode of Killer Cases, looking into how the show Family Feud helped solve a murder. You can download the free 5+ app on your Roku, Apple, or Fire TV. Comedian Mike Epps made a stop today at the Boys and Girls Club Teen Center of Excellence in Ferguson. The Hangover star performed at Chaffetz Arena tonight, but before the show, he talked to kids about how to chase their passions and what it takes to be a success. The center gives kids ages 12 to 18 a safe place to go after school. A lot going on this weekend, Scott.
Oh, yeah. We had ball games outside. Tomorrow, Cardinals. A lot of folks in town for the Frozen Four. Sunday, not only Cardinals, but City SC. Your weather is nearly perfect for all of it. It's a little chilly out the door tomorrow morning. Maybe some frost, especially in Illinois. But again, we're really early in the growing season. So as far as what's going to be damaged by that frost, probably nothing. You might, if you're up early tomorrow morning, you might have to scrape your windshield, especially in Illinois. Otherwise, sleep in another hour, it'll be gone. It'll melt. 65 tomorrow afternoon, 82 on Sunday.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis, the weekend edition, beginning at 6 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.